Hello, everyone. My name is Katerina Belik, and I'm a founder of Vidara Empowerment Center for Metaphysical and Holistic Practitioners. Quite soon, we're going to launch a unique program for those who qualify to become a certified medicine woman. Today, I'm honored to have the main instructor of the program, Vasiliki, to join me to answer some questions. So Vasiliki is medicine woman, visionary, and sage. She is an amazing healer, spiritual leader, and just personally for me, absolutely fascinating person. Vasiliki, thank you so much for making this time to answer my questions to you.
Thank you, Katerina.
So really before we kind of get into the details of the program that you are about to offer with us, I really wanted to kind of ask you about teachers because we all know how important these people are in our life. And we become who we are with the help of our parents, and quite often, and maybe even more often, with the help of teachers. So, my very first question to you would be, can you please speak a little bit about your teachers? Who taught you to become a medicine woman, the person who you are, and actually having, revealing all these gifts and talents that you have in your life? Who inspired you to pursue this path?
Well, Katerina, that's a pretty abstract answer. I have a lot of teachers in this realm, but my true teachers were my guides from the other side. As a small child, I would play out in the woods in Torrance, California, and my friends would be there with me, and they would teach me what berries I can eat and what weeds I can have and when to have them and not to have them. And nobody asked me who I played with. Nobody asked me what I was doing out there. So I didn't know that they were spirits. I didn't know the difference between them and a human. And
Mhm.
when I was 4 years old, three Indians came to me on very large horses, and I can see it in my mind's eye as clear as if it happened yesterday. And they came to me and they told me that I wouldn't see them for a little while, but don't worry, that they'd always be with me. And they drove away. And or I should say they rode away. and and then after that, we moved from California back to New York, where my mother was from. And as I grew up, people would come in and I would say, "You should get your gallbladder checked," or "Do you have a headache?" And no one ever asked me how I knew, but they would all say to me, "Oh, you should be a doctor one day. You always know what's wrong with everybody." And so as time went on, I grew up, I got married. When my beautiful son was born at 2 years old, he was diagnosed as hyperactive ADD. And I didn't accept that. And that sent me on my natural journey. And everywhere I went, I would meet someone and they would say, "Oh, you have to go meet this person and you have to go meet that person." And each person that I met led me to another teacher. So from my Reiki master to my shamanic teacher from Lapland to already red medicine, a Lenape Indian from Long Island. All of these teachers were all interconnected. And then they would send me to other people where I traveled all over the world. And I just felt blessed to be able to meeting all these great people. And they all kept telling me, "You have medicine, you have medicine." And I really didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. And then on a trip to Israel, I went into a church, and when I went back into the back of the church, an angel appeared to me in the form of a beautiful purple light. And I was so scared, I just shut my eyes really tight. And I said, "Oh no, I could still see you," like it didn't go away. And she said to me, "Don't be afraid." And it was Archangel Gabriel. She was beautiful. And I left Israel a different person. I knew that it was my time to be whoever it was. I wasn't certain who I was, but I knew I had to be that person. And my entire life I was a rebel. My entire life I was different. So I was used to that part, and it just led me further and further on my path. I eventually met my Qigong master, and he really influenced me a lot in being a teacher. And a few years ago, three of my teachers all passed away in the same year. And it made me realize that their wisdom left with them. None of them wrote books. Very few of them left someone behind that would replace them. And I realized at that moment, like, wow, like God didn't give you all this knowledge and all of this just to take it with you when you leave. So that really picked up my desire to really want to teach on a bigger level. I've already been teaching my work for 20 years to small, intimate classes. I like small and intimate because I like really knowing that that wisdom gets there. So I don't really think I have any one particular teacher. They all gave me something. But the biggest lesson that they all gave me is that the teacher and the healer is within you. And that when you do your own walk and you walk the walk and you live your walk, then the medicine woman comes out.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You know, Vasiliki, listening to you, you said that early in your life you were talking with spirits, and then angel appeared in your life as well. So it seems like you were, something in you was opening those doors for you with quite unique experiences. Can now, speaking about your future students in this program, if they did not have similar experiences in their life and they don't know whether spirits talk to them or no, or they don't see angels, can they still be successful in the program? Is there still a chance for them to reach maybe not your level, but be quite close to that? Or there should be predetermined things coming in?
Katerina, we're all born with those abilities, but depending on how we're raised, you know, many times our parents, our teachers, our friends, our siblings, they all shut it down for us. They tell you nobody's there because they can't see one. I was just lucky enough. They had a busy mom. There was 5 of us. And so if I was in the corner talking with somebody, good, as long as she's over there and not getting in trouble, let her talk to them. You know? So if she wants to have imaginary friends, let her have them. But everyone had them. And you can reconnect with them. So it's a gift that we're all born with, and you choose to tune back into it. Now, we all express and connect with our gifts in different ways. Some people can see, some can hear, some can feel, some can do all of it, but we all have the ability to connect with the divine. As far as the medicine woman class goes, it isn't about a gift, but it's about who you are. So in order to be a medicine woman, you have to be filled with passion. You have to have compassion. You have to be strong and believe in yourself. And you have to have a really deep desire to help and be involved. Because it takes a leader, it takes the healer in you, it takes the motherer, the nurturer, because you're not just where a healer works to heal with someone. A medicine woman is working with your spirit. She's working to build up your inner strength so that you can face anything in life. And you become part of the family of your clients. You create a community, you create a tribe. And that tribe relies on you. They rely on you for not just strength, but for compassion and understanding. You have to be strong enough and open enough to be judgment free. So there are qualities that are required, but they're not gifts. They're not like, you don't have to be something special. Everybody's special. Whatever is special within you will come out during this program.
You mentioned that to be a medicine woman, you need to also exercise being a healer in you. So are you saying that medicine woman is kind of it's a bigger concept in general? So I'm just trying to understand what's behind that title. Who can be called a medicine woman?
Okay, so in order to be called a medicine woman, yes, you have to have some type of training in the physical healing world. And you have to also be connected to the earth. You want to be able to work with the plants, work with the herbs, be able to speak to the trees, connect with the moon, run ceremonies. And really, because you're working to make people, you know, when people are broken, it's not their emotions, it's not their mind, it's not their body, it's their spirit. So it takes spirit medicine to bring you back up, to make you strong again. And it's much bigger than a life coach. So it's bigger than a life coach. It's bigger than a healer. It's really being able to climb in there and grab hold of your spirit and say, where is it sick? What is it going to take to make it feel better? And it's not just about healing a physical vessel. And it's not about quieting down the emotions, but it's about being able to connect all the different layers and the different lifetimes. And then to be able to go out into nature and bring that person out to reconnect with the earth, to connect with the mother. Because medicine women connect with the mother for medicine.
I
So
see.
we go out in the earth and we go out there and we create fire. We go out in the rain. You know, we really bring you out there and you feel the life of the tree. You feel the beauty of the flower. It isn't something that you can just learn in a book. There's a lot of hands-on training to be a medicine person.
Right. Well, listen, you explained so well. I want to sign up for your program already. It's that energy, that passion coming from you. Amazing. Listen, again, another question I had. What's the difference between medicine woman and medicine man? Is
Okay.
there any?
Well, in today's day and age, maybe not. But but the difference that I was taught between the medicine man and the medicine woman is that women are born with more hormones than men. So we were trained to have different jobs. So a man can be more grounded and stable. So you go to him for like the logical answers. You go to the medicine woman for the answer of the heart. And you go to both of them. You go to counsel. And you bring them both together because they both serve. One brings in the heart and the other brings in the logic, and you bring them together.
Right.
They both have medicine, but it's just in a different vessel, so it gets used in a different way.
I see. I see. Okay. Let's get to the program itself. So the program that you are offering, first of all, of course, I've never heard of becoming a certified medicine woman. It's something unprecedented it's about to offer to our students and healers as well. What's included in the program? Can you please tell a little more about the program itself?
So again, it's a very intense program because it isn't just learning knowledge, but it's about collecting wisdom, and it's about shifting to a whole different lifestyle. So if you're going to do this program, it's kind of like signing up for the Army. You know that when you get in there, not only is there boot camp, but you're going to live life a different way. A medicine woman lives a very different life than other people. She's always on call, always there to serve, and her family, her clients become her family. They become her tribe. So that whenever something's going on in their life, so whether they have, a kidney stone or marital problems, they're going to come to the medicine woman, and she's going to want to be trained to know, what do you do with that situation? Do you say, hey, your kidney chi feels low, let's get you a doctor visit? Or do we tell you, drink these herbs, it doesn't seem so bad, and let's see if we can flush that out? So that, these are some of the protocols that you'll learn, but you also have to be able to in your own life, fix everything within you. So as a leader, you come forward 100%. And when someone comes and they're having trouble with their job or trouble with their relationship, your wisdom is intact, and you can give them guidance. You can use rituals and ceremonies to help let them find their guidance. Part of the program, you will be doing 4 very intense retreats that when you're done, you will be able to do these retreats for other people. The program is set up to it kind of folds on top of one another. It's you're learning different healing modalities, but you're also doing retreats that are building you. You're doing your own inner work. You're going to learn how to react differently, how to eat differently, how to live your entire life, even how to set up your house, how to set up sacred space, how to set up a sacred house. What is a Zen house? So there's a lot of stuff involved, and all of that is what it takes to be that medicine woman in the end. So it's not where you can just you can learn Reiki and you can become a healer, but as a Reiki healer, you can just work on your client, shut the lights off, and you go home. As a medicine woman, you have to go and you're connecting with the spirit realm to talk for that person that just came to see you. And you're helping them to process things. So there's some shamanic work in there. There's a lot of vibration. We do a lot of energy work, a lot of work with spirit. And all of it requires changing your lifestyle. So you can't just learn this stuff and then not live it. So the program is really designed to help shift you, not just to teach you, but to shift you from wanting to learn it to being it. So when you're done, you are a medicine woman. And part of the program also requires that your homework, you're going to be learning how to build your tribe, because you're going to be getting people that are going to volunteer so you can work on them. And so you can do all the things that you're learning, and so that you build your confidence as you're building your tribe. So at the end of those 12 months, you already have a practice. You're ready to go.
That's really important. But at the same time, listening to you, I'm thinking that's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of work. So is there a way you're going to select your students? Because it doesn't sound like it's for everyone.
Yes, it is not for everyone. Being a medicine woman is it's a lifestyle. It's a 24/7 job. And so there is an application, and there's 3 questions that you have to answer. And I choose based on how you answer those questions. So the first one is, why do you want to be a medicine woman? Because when you hear this, if you're being called to be a medicine woman, you're going to be like, oh, I want to do this. This is it. I know it's for me. It's not like, well, maybe I'll do that on board. Like, it's way too big of a commitment. If you don't feel it deep inside of you, it's not for you. So the first one is, why do you want to be a medicine woman? And in answering the question, you may get your own answer. Either you're going to be like, I have to do it. Now I realize how much that's in me, or maybe it just sounded like fun. And then the second question is, I ask you to describe a difficult situation that happened in your life. And how did you handle that situation? How did you not give up when that hardship came into your life? And then the third question that I ask is to give me a little description of your life right now, so that I can see if it's a really good fit for you. Because it may be like, wow, this is perfect. This is the time. I feel it. You should do this. Or, you know what? Maybe you should wait 5 years until your little ones are older. Or maybe you should wait 3 years until X, Y, and Z. So it's not of, can you see, is your third eye open? None of that is important to me. What's important is your constitution, is who are you? What do you represent? And how strong are you? Are you ready to be that leader? Because you're going to be creating communities. And you have to be a leader to be willing to create a community.
That's right. Yes. That makes perfect sense. It's just, I'm thinking right now, of course, if there is a passion and there is commitment to gaining that knowledge, but is there kind of a requirement that you have? Let's say you mentioned you had several modules in the program, and can I, for example, skip one module and still become a medicine woman? Or is that there is a certain requirement to complete the whole list of things that you came up with?
You would have to do the whole 12 months in order to be the medicine woman, because it's a step-by-step process that leads you into an entire new lifestyle. You're going to learn to eat differently. You're going to learn to prepare your food differently. You're going to react to your family in a different way. You're going to set your priorities up in a different way. And if you take one module and you don't take the other, you're going to fall through the cracks. And then there's going to be opportunities for you to teach community classes, so you can get hands-on experience, and there's going to be 4 optional times that you can actually come here. I live on native sacred land, where you'll come here and you'll be able to go out into the earth, and you'll be able to create ceremonies for one another. I mean, if you cannot do it, you'll be able to do it on Zoom, but the option is there to come here in person. And if someone really has this big commitment and they have the luxury to do it, I will take them on as an apprentice, and they can come here and they can shadow me. So this is really a commitment to a way of life. And if you're struggling, I'm gonna come to you and I'm gonna say, okay, let's fix that struggle, because I'm gonna get right to the core of why it's happening. Why do you feel stuck? Why can't you keep your commitment to yourself? Why do you feel overwhelmed? And we're gonna get in there and we're gonna change that, because that's what they're gonna be doing for somebody else someday.
I see. You know, you just mentioned something that I was curious about as well. So the whole program is remote, is that right?
The
Is it
entire
can be done on Zoom?
with live options.
Okay.
So there will be options that you can come here and experience some of it live, but all of it will be remote. So if you're, out in California and I'm in New York, it may be a lot for you to come here. So it's not a requirement, but it's an option.
What about the work of medicine woman? Can you do all the work in your community? Does it have to be in a physical location, or it can be also done remotely? Like, can I build a remote community?
You will be learning both. You will be learning how to create an in-person community, and you will be taught how to create an online community. You will also be taught how to promote yourself and how to get yourself out there on social media. You'll learn how to start a basic website for yourself. So you'll also get the business aspect of it as well as the spiritual aspect. So again, when you're done, when those 12 months are up, you will be up, operational, have clients, and getting ready to build yourself to that bigger place.
This is very important, because being in this kind of field for a while, I noticed, and this is actually what we do, is providing that kind of support to healers, because many, I would say vast majority, are really struggling to take care of this business side, or to actually get their clients in. And if you are saying that you are basically not just giving that instruction on how to become a medicine woman, but you're doing business already, you're building that business for them. That's amazing. That's really, really valuable. I think it's an excellent investment in yourself.
I think 2 things I observed meeting people over the years is most people that come into this field with a desire to be a healer have a beautiful heart. But if they weren't given the work to believe in themselves, they have all this self-doubt. They don't really step into their power, and they're a secretary by day and a Reiki practitioner on weekends, or they're a teacher by day and they're doing, angel readings by night. Whereas if this is your love, why aren't you doing it? And they all say the same thing. Well, I don't know how to get more people. I don't blah, blah, blah. And it has so much to do with that, spirit will only send you what you're capable of handling. So if you still have your own work to do, then you're not going to grow, or you're going to grow. You see these people, they go out and they write books and they have this big following. And then 3 years later, you never hear from them again, because they didn't do that. And it's not that they're not great, and it's not that they didn't mean well, but they didn't do their own work. So this, again, is like a boot camp where you're going to learn to get to that lifestyle. You're going to learn how to bring everything into you that supports who you really want to be and what you want to bring forth.
Looking at the names and titles in your modules, when we discussed that before, I noticed you have such big things there mentioned, like you will learn, for example, this is a question for me, you will learn how to channel. To me, this kind of a gift that can probably be developed fully throughout not a month, not 2 months, but maybe throughout the years. So once you plan your program, do you actually promise people can acquire those skills within the 1-year program, or your program is just that change that will have to facilitate their future growth?
Okay. It's a little bit of both. So where I put in there that you will be learning how to channel, I have a program that's called Pure Source Energy Transmissions. And these are frequencies, they're vibrational frequencies that help to clear out and open up all your channels. And so there's many different ways that we channel. So some people channel by just feeling, you learn to feel into somebody else's energy field and you get their information. So you're kind of channeling their information by pulling it out of that energy field. And then there's people that channel that, where you close your eyes and the person actually comes in and you start talking in tongues and somebody else is having the conversation for you. And that's another type of channeling. And then there's also channeling where you'll sit quietly and you'll just connect to that higher source and you'll hear it as a thought. And then you'll be repeating what your thoughts are saying, because they're not your thoughts, they're somebody else's. So there's many different ways, and you'll be taught a lot of practices to help open up all of those channels. And depending on each individual person, it can come at very different times. I've had people get, into month 5 of their pure source energy transmissions, and they're a full channel. And I've had people doing a second and third round of their 9 months because they have their own resistance, which is another reason when you're doing this whole program and you're living it for a year, that resistance is going to go away. So it's kind of like giving you the opportunity where, if you wanted to be a yogi and you got to go away to a retreat center, to a yoga retreat center, and you got to stay there for a year learning yoga, you would be living the life of a yogi. So this program is giving you the opportunity to live the life of a medicine woman, to learn what it's like to, to eat from the earth, to vibrationally prepare your food and to set your home up. You're going to learn a lot about vibration, because when it comes to spirit work, it's all vibration. So your gift may come out in a number of different ways, or all of them.
Very interesting. Do you make yourself available for your students who finish your program? So outside of the program, can they reach out to you with questions? Can you kind of guide them after that? Or once the program is over, you're on your own?
No. The other beauty of the program is that I only choose 12 people at a time. And there's a reason. I want those 12 people to bond. So not only with me, but with one another, so that you have your own tribe that you can turn to that can help you grow, so that you're all helping one another and you're never alone. I know what it was like to try to build it alone. And I don't want others to have to go through that. I want to be able to pull them to the end, so that, like, okay, you did all this training. I mean, I see so many people that will say, I went for Reiki and I learned crystals, and they have like this long list on their resume. And I'm like, and how many clients a day do you see? Oh, I don't see clients yet. Oh, how long have you been doing this? Oh, like 10 years. What have you been doing for 10 years? Just collecting knowledge. So because no one helped them to take that knowledge and turn it into wisdom. We're gonna have hands-on stuff. You're gonna get your fingers dirty. You're gonna be in there making it happen, so that when that 12 month is done and you're like, when you graduate, you're owning it. It's like, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, and it took me 10 years, and I'm like, when I got that belt, I owned it.
Right.
Well, you're gonna own that medicine woman side.
Yeah, it's just, again, listening to you, it's fascinating. Listen, can I work full time and do medicine woman training? Or you have to devote yourself fully, commit to full-time medicine woman certification student? Like, speaking about practical side of life.
Okay, I'm a very practical lady. So again, this is one of the reasons I ask you to describe your life right now. You can work full time and still commit to this. You may even be able to, work full time, have 3 kids, and still do this. But it depends on what's the relationship with your family, who's going to watch the kids when you're doing that class, and so we would really have to talk about how that would work out. But can you do this program and work full time? Yes.
Okay. Can you get a little bit more information, more specifics on how does it actually look like? Is it weekly meetings, or how do I have homework? Is
Okay.
there anything that I need to really understand? What's my commitment to
Okay.
that?
Yes. So this is how the entire program works. Every month there'll be a 2 to 3 hour instructional with me on Zoom that will also be recorded if you cannot make the meeting. But it is a meeting, a time to ask questions, answers, share, receive. That's once a month. Then you will have access to a lot of the stuff that already exists. So you will be getting access to my Qigong classes, which are 2 days a week, which is something I highly recommend for physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual growth. You will get access to my my spiritual community classes that I do every Wednesday night, and even have the opportunity to possibly teach one of those classes. And you'll also have homework. So each month there'll be a module that will say, let's say if you're learning about crystals, you'll have to find 5 people that you can do a crystal grid on, and then you have to write out what you experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the same time, there are 4 retreat programs. One is all about self-love, teaching you how to love yourself. The other is owning your worth. The next one is how to keep your commitment to yourself. And and the last one is how to get unstuck. So doing these programs, you're going to grow and build personally. But when you're done, now you'll be able to use all the different practices in these retreats separately and together. So you will also be able to run retreats as a medicine woman. So again, if you'll have options. Do you want to see clients one-on-one? Do you want to go out and do lectures? Do you want to run retreats? Do you want to run circles? Do you want to do, there's a lot of different things you can do with your training. And you'll have options of all these different things. And the biggest one is that you're going to get 4 of my main retreats that you're going to get to do them. Those alone are $1,500 each to do alone. And and you're not only going to be doing it, but you're going to be able to use that for other people when you're done. So as I was saying, there's a lot involved, and that you can try, and a lot of it you can do at your own pace and at the luxury of your own time. And then there's some that you have to get your homework done by the end of the month so you can move on to the next part.
Sounds great. Sounds excellent. Listen, speaking about money, since you mentioned the cost, how much does it cost to have an annual access to your Qigong classes?
My annual, monthly is $60 a month, so $720 a year.
And what about your Wednesday classes? Are they?
Wednesday classes are standalone. They're $25 per class. And the retreats that I do, the individual retreats, are anywhere from $750 to $1,500.
So basically, if we look at the tuition cost, it's a lot of savings there.
A lot, because you're also going to get a lot of my time, where people can pay anywhere from $150 to $500 to be alone with me.
Right. Awesome. Again, let's continue the topic of money. We live in 3D world still.
We live in a 3D world. Money's energy.
Money is energy, yes, and that's one of the reasons a lot of practitioners are poor, because they have difficult relationship with money. But yes, it seems like if you're spiritual.
Also because they collected knowledge and they were never given the opportunity to bring out the wisdom.
Yeah.
Which is why I made it a 12-month program. Why it's $11,000. For me, that's cheap, because you're going to have a business when you're done.
Exactly. And plus, again, all those little beautiful pieces that you've just mentioned become available once they are in your classroom. That's very generous. That's very generous. But Vasiliki, let me ask you this question, and you don't have to answer it from your standpoint, but what do you think? How much I can earn after I finish the program and after I become a medicine woman? Like, what is that range that?
There's a huge range there, because it depends on, there's so many options of things you can do. Average medicine woman gets about $150 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
If you do retreats, most retreats can run anywhere from $500 to $3,000. And if you wanted to go on the circuit and speak, you can get paid to be a speaker. So there's a lot of different things you can do. You can start creating your own programs, because I'm going to talk about how I created my own programs and how you can create yours. So there's a lot of opportunities. So I'm going to say you can make anywhere from 50,000 to 500,000.
Okay.
So there's a big jump there, but how much are you willing to commit, and what are you ready to do?
Mm-hmm. Right. But you do show choices and options, and you show how to.
And how much you should charge, and how you and the steps of how would you go about doing that. If you wanted to be a speaker, what would you do to become a speaker? If if you want to, if you want to run retreats, what would you do to become that retreat facilitator? How do you get into places like Omega or Kripalu? Like, I will talk to you about how to get into other spaces. And I also own 2 retreat centers, which is another perk to the training, is that you have access to utilizing those space for your own retreats.
Right. Right. Sounds great. Yes, sounds great. Vasiliki, I can tell you that I feel so blessed. I'm able to open my life for people like you to enter, and you teach me so much. And if I'm able to join your program, I will.
I welcome you, and I look forward to that, Katerina. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Yes, we'll continue asking you future questions, but as for now, I think we have a quite good idea of what the program Certified Medicine Woman looks like. Thank you so much for your time, Vasiliki.
Thank you.
Bye. Mhm.
Bye.